The following is a non-profit, fan-made version of the original radio programme The Shadow. All sound effects have been found on YouTube and freesound.org, while voices on Casting Call Club.
Please support the official release. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again we welcome you back to yet another exciting adventure of The Shadow. In this second season, The Shadow will demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The Shadow, who is really Lamont Cranston, has the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. Cranston's friend, Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. Today's drama, The Horror in the Night, is about murder and the terror of a nightmare that came to life out of the long-dead past. It is nearly midnight on a stormy evening in the foothills of the Denmoor Mountains. The wind lashes the creaking sign of the Denmoor Arms, an ancient hostelry that perches atop a barren rise in the bleak terrain. Before a fireplace in the dilapidated interior sit three figures. One of them is Mrs. McGow, a grey-haired woman of 50, whose bright little eyes dart and glisten as she addresses the two silent gentlemen who sit in the flickering glow of the firelight.
There's nothing so comforting as a bright log fire on a dark, chill night, is there, Mr. Wenser? Now, I do trust you have no fear of the elements, Mr. Greer. Nor you either, my dear Mr. Wenser. You have no cause for fear, you know. None at all. I fear the fire is dying out. It's almost 12 now. 2 hours past the usual time. Would you not like to retire, gentlemen? Would you not like to go up to your beds? I said, would you... But of course, you can't get up to bed without help, can you? No, how could you? After all, you poor things, you're dead.
The storm that broke over the Denmoor Arms hit the city 50 miles away half an hour later, drenching dark streets and alleyways, as well as the lighted windows of Margot Lane's apartment.
Oh, look at it come down.
Oh, thank heavens we got here before it broke loose.
Oh, I understand the old expression now.
Which one, Lamont?
Yeah, the one about it's not being a fit night out for a man or beast.
Now, who in the world could that be? Hello? Yes, he is. Just a moment. It's for you, Lamont.
Thanks, Margot. I left word I'd be here. Hello?
Cranston?
Yes?
This is Markham. Will Markham? I met you not long ago at a party given by Charlie Arts, the producer.
Oh, yes, Will. What is it?
I'm calling from the Denmoor Arms.
From where?
The Denmoor Arms. It's 50 miles out on the old Burley Hill Road.
What in the world are you doing out there on a night like this?
I had to look the place over. I'm considering turning it into a film studio.
Well, that's a poor location for a film studio. I'm afraid you'll regret the venture.
I already am regretting it.
What do you mean?
I've walked into trouble, and I doubt if I'll walk out of it alive. Help me, Cranston, please. There are things going on here the like of which I've never seen before in my life.
Are you alone out there?
No.
Then there are people with you.
Yes.
Can't they help you?
No.
Why not?
Because they're all dead.
What?
Believe me, Lamont. Trust me, please, and help me. Help me. Help!
Hello? Hello? Will? Will? We were disconnected.
What was that all about, Lamont?
Trouble.
Listen to that storm.
You know, Margot, the evolutionists have a theory that we are descended from fish.
So?
Our ancestry should stand us in a good stead tonight. We're driving the Denmoor Arms.
we're going to, Lamont? I have never heard of it.
It was originally owned by a Mrs. McGow, the widow of a seafaring man, who ran at a loss several years.
How long ago was that?
Let's see. It's almost exactly 15 years ago that Mrs. McGow went out of her mind. On the night of the tragedy, there was 3 lone guests at the Denmoor Arms, a woman and 2 men.
Yes.
And Mrs. McGow murdered all 3 of them.
Oh, she must have been insane.
Very likely, considering the deliberate viciousness of her crimes.
What do you mean?
She had herself a time, it seems. She killed each of her victims in a different way. One by hanging, one by shooting, and the third, the woman, by plunged a knife into her heart.
Oh, they caught her, I hope.
She spared them the trouble. After the disaster, she reportedly jumped off the roof of the inn and was crushed to death by jagged rocks below.
How horrible.
Yes, I'm surprised Markham imagined the Denmoor Arms would do for a film studio. After all, he must have heard the stories.
What stories?
Naturally, Margot, there's not a soul for miles around who don't believe that the old inn is haunted.
Of course, that's a ridiculous idea.
As well as an uncomfortable idea.
Does it look haunted, Lamont?
You can answer that for yourself, my dear. Here it is. Just on the rise of the hill. Well?
It's the answer to a phantom's prayer.
It's even worse than I remembered it. Come on, Margot. We'll proceed with caution. Will? Will? Oh, no answer.
He may be wandering around. The place is huge. That's probably why he doesn't hear you.
Let's hope that's why. Come on, Margot. Oh, this place could use a woman's touch.
It could use a dozen women's touches, all scrub women.
Look at those spider webs.
Long and thick.
15 years of hard work for an industrious spider. And for what?
That's odd.
What's odd?
Markham probably came in by the front door, don't you think?
Probably.
Yet the dust on the floor is absolutely even. There's not a footprint anywhere. I wonder if...
You heard it too?
I thought I did.
Sound upstairs.
Yes.
Let's go up and have a look around.
Lamont, did you bring the flashlight?
Yes, come on.
It's dark as a tomb in here.
The electricity has probably been shut off since...
Oh, Lamont, what's that?
Easy, Margot.
Lamont, be careful. It might...
Okay, the emergency's over. It's only a door banging in the wind.
Please, let's go back downstairs and...
Now? With an open door to investigate? Impossible. How could we, Margot?
But...
Just a second. I'll look inside and...
Lamont, don't leave me.
All right, come along.
What kind of room is this?
A bedroom. There's a bed and...
Lamont,
What?
look. There's somebody sleeping.
Well, what do you know?
Is it Markham?
I'm afraid not.
Who is it? What in the world is that man doing here?
I shall try and find out. I beg your pardon. I say, I beg your pardon. I beg your...
Louder.
I'm afraid it won't do much good, Margot.
What do you mean?
I don't urge you to look, Margot, but there's a bullet wound through the gentleman's template. See, he's been dead for a very long time.
Yes. Oh, Lamont. Lamont, let's get out of here and call the...
Listen.
It's the desk bell.
In that deserted, dust-covered lobby?
There it is again.
Come along quietly.
Where are we going?
Downstairs. To see if we can be of service.
There's not a soul down here.
You don't suppose we're letting our imaginations...
No. I heard the bell. I tell you, I did hear that.
Of course you heard it, dearie, my love.
Who's that?
Easy, Margot. Who are you, madame?
I'm a bit too busy to be answering questions, sir.
What are you doing here?
I might ask the same of you.
Except I asked first.
If it's any of your business, I'm here on behalf of the proprietor.
The proprietor?
Yes. I'm taking care of the place in her absence.
Then perhaps you'd like to know that there's a corpse in the room on the left of the stairs.
A corpse? Oh, sir. You must mean dear Mr. Wenser. He's been with us for quite a while.
He's dead.
Of course he is, sweetie. I can't remember when Mr. Wenser was alive.
What in the name of...
Where's Will Markham?
Who?
You heard me. Mr. Markham. Will Markham.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't believe he's registered.
Now look here. He called me from this place.
What's that?
It's for me, the buzzer. I do declare I'm run off my feet in this hotel. It's room 2D. Mr. Greer again. Now what on earth could he want?
Just a minute.
I'll attend to you later, I will. As soon as I've seen to dear Mr. Greer.
She may never come back.
We'll see that she does.
You're coming along?
Any reason why not?
None at all, sir. You're perfectly welcome. Yes, Mr. Greer? You rang, Mr. Greer.
Lamont, listen.
I hear it.
What is it? That sound.
I don't know. It's too dark to see.
Turn on the flashlight.
Okay. There we are. Now, where is...
Lamont, that sound is the creaking of a rope.
A rope?
Swinging from a beam in the ceiling. Look, up there.
A man!
Oh, Lamont.
Dead man. Hanging by his neck.
Lamont, please. Let's get out of here while we still can.
Just a moment, Margot. Where is she?
Who?
That woman who said she was in charge.
I thought she was standing beside you.
I thought she was standing beside you.
Why, she practically vanished.
We'll soon put a stop to this. Come on. Hello? Where are you? Where are you?
That came from downstairs.
Okay, hurry. Where are you? Answer me. We'll find you if it takes
Are
us...
you looking for me, sir?
There she is.
What happened to you?
I saw that Mr. Greer didn't need me, so I went on my way.
Didn't need you.
What are you talking about, madame? Couldn't you see the man was dead?
Oh, of course, sir. Just like dear Mr. Windsor.
What is this place? A morgue?
Why, yes, sir. You might call it a morgue in a way, sir. You see, there are only dead people here. Except from the two of you.
Or how about you?
Oh, I'm dead too, sir. You see, I'm the third guest who was murdered here 15 years ago.
Oh, what are you saying?
It's the truth, sir. I was the woman. The woman who was stabbed. If you'll just flash your light here, sir. See?
Good grief.
Lamont, look. A knife sticking into her heart.
The Shadow will continue with his adventure in just a moment. In the meantime, we would like to remind you that there are less than 2 months until the chilly season arrives in our towns and cities. So make sure you're prepared before it arrives. Buy warm jackets, mittens, and toques for the family. Now, back to the Shadow. Margot Lane collapsed on the floor of the dismal Denmoor Arms lobby when she saw the knife sticking into the heart of the elderly woman. Quickly, Lamont Cranston bent over her to revive her, and when she regained consciousness, he turned to ask their incredible hostess a question, only to find that she'd disappeared again into the shadows of the bleak, dilapidated hostelry.
Lamont, please. Let's leave this awful place.
All right, Margot. We'll see if we can locate some form of local authorities and get them to help us find poor old Markham before... What was that?
Nothing. Please, let's...
I heard it.
Probably rats in the walls.
No, that's no ordinary sound.
But...
It's coming from just under our feet.
Lamont!
Let me have one more chance. Just one more chance to get to the bottom of this clammy situation.
Couldn't we?
Please, Margot. I'll be back in a moment. You wait here.
I'm going along.
Okay, let's go.
Where are we, Lamont?
Judging by the temperature, I'd say this is an old wine cellar. Probably a place where...
Lamont,
I almost fell.
be careful.
And will you look what I almost fell over?
Oh, what's...
It's a coffin. Of all the...
Lamont, listen. It's coming from inside the...
What in the name of... Here, help me raise the lid. That's right. A little higher. And...
Lamont! Margot!
It's Will Markham.
Will! Are you all right?
I'd have sworn I'd never see the face of a friend again. Help me out of here.
There we are. What happened to you?
Just after I phoned you.
Yes?
An old woman who said she's in charge here.
Yes, we know. We've had the pleasure.
Well, she suddenly clobbered me over the back of the head with a poker and knocked me unconscious.
Probably she rolled me down the cellar steps after that, 'cause the next thing I knew, I was regaining my senses inside this coffin here.
She's been very polite with us. Sickeningly weirdly polite.
Yes, I know. She was here when I first walked in, and she was very cordial to me then, too. She told me that she was in possession of a great secret. The secret of the Denmoor Arms. But that no one was ever going to find it out but her.
Did she make any sense at all?
Very little. The only thing she talked coherently about was what she called the skipper's log.
The skipper's log?
Yes, she didn't identify it very clearly. It's in this house, she said. Hidden in a hiding place within the hiding place.
Hiding place within a hiding place?
Yes, whatever that means.
We'll have to find out what it means.
Not me. All I want to do is get out of here.
Yes. Lamont, let's...
Look, Margot, if we have left before, we wouldn't have found poor Will at all. And now I don't want to leave until I unravel this little witch's dance.
But Lamont...
Give me half an hour, 30 minutes more. And if I haven't discovered the secret by then, we'll go.
If we're still able to.
I'd like to have my chance.
All right, Lamont. You can have it. We've covered 4 stories of this place now, Lamont, by rapping on the walls. What's the idea?
I may be very optimistic, Margot, but I have a vague hope of finding a secret panel or hidden safe.
Why, Cranston?
Instinct, Markham. A secret cache of some kind is strongly indicated.
Are you going to try the next floor above?
Next floor above is the attic.
The attic. Extremely likely place, the attic.
Then why can't Markham and I go instead and search up there?
It would save time.
Oh, I don't. On the other hand, why not? Yes, it might be an excellent idea. Except for one thing, Margot.
And what's that?
You see, excuse us a moment, Markham.
Of course.
Now look, Margot, be very careful and be very observant. When you get up there, I want you to remember every word the old lady told Markham.
Will? Will?
Yes, Margot?
Are you busy over there?
I found a couple old sea chests I thought looked interesting.
Come here a moment. I want to show you something.
Yes? What is it?
This stanchion here, supporting the roof. Do you realize what it is?
Why, yes. It looks like a tree trunk.
Right. And do you realize what a tree trunk is?
Why, of course. It's a log.
And our weird old woman said something about...
The skipper's log. I think you've got something, Margot.
Now, just a moment. If I have, there ought to be a... And there is. Look, I pressed here and this panel opened.
What's inside?
It looks like some sort of box. Very heavy, you see. It's... Why, it is. It's a treasure chest.
Alone in the attic with Will Markham, Margot Lane has found what seems to be a treasure chest, hidden in a rough-hewn stanchion or log that supports the low, cobwebby ceiling. Now, as she lifts the chest out...
It's too heavy for you. I'll take it.
No, that's all right. I think we better show it to Lamont at once and...
I'll take it, please.
No, it's okay. I can...
I said I'll take it, Margot. And now you'll favor me by telling Mr. Cranston nothing.
You've got a gun.
Yes, and I assure you I mean strictly business.
But I don't get it, Will.
Perhaps I'd better explain so you'll comprehend fully.
But you phoned Mr. Cranston as a friend. We came here to help you.
And you did very well indeed, just as I hoped you would. You see, I couldn't call in the police to search this place, but I did even better. I took advantage of my acquaintance with Mr. Cranston to get him to do my investigating for me.
What do you mean?
I was desperate, that's what I mean. Some hard-headed real estate men actually are interested in taking over the Denmoor Arms and converting it into a film studio, and they're not the kind of people to be frightened off by a ghost story. So I had to find the treasure before they took over and ended our trespassing. Mine and Mrs. McGow's.
Mrs. McGow's? Why, that's the proprietress who murdered those 3 people and then committed suicide.
She tried to commit suicide, yes, but she didn't die. She lived on, a wandering, half-mad life for 15 years until I stumbled on her here. She told me about the treasure. A treasure that had been left here in the Denmoor Arms over 100 years ago by her grandfather, who was a privateering sea captain.
But those corpses I saw tonight, downstairs in the bedrooms, they're real and recently murdered.
You're right, unfortunately. It couldn't be helped. There were a couple of itinerant tramps who came nosing around here and heard more than was good for them. They had to be killed, which, in a sense, was lucky. Their bodies came in handy for the haunted house game that Mrs. McGow so much enjoys playing.
Mrs. McGow? Then she's the woman who greeted us?
Exactly.
But that knife, I saw it stuck in her heart.
Just an old theatrical trick I showed her, and she loved it like a child. You see, she's very much like a child. An old, sick child with a great taste for the dramatic and a greater thirst for gold. And now that you have the story, Miss Lane, with your kind permission, I'll open this window and climb down to safety with...
Who's that?
If it's Cranston, I shoot.
No.
It's not Cranston. It's me, Mr. Markham. Me, your friend, the widow McGow. The woman you promised to help. The woman you swore you'd never cheat. And now you're trying to escape. To run away with all of my grandfather's gold.
You don't understand, Mrs. McGow. I was only going to...
Stop your lies and give me that chest. I've got it.
Come back here. She snatched it out of my hands.
Sly I am. Sly as a fox.
I warn you.
Warn me? What worse could you do than steal my treasure? What worse could you do, you thief?
This might be worse.
No.
Drop that chest before I shoot. Who is that?
Shadow.
Who made that sound? Who is laughing?
It was the shadow.
I hear a voice, but there isn't anything there. I don't see anyone. But there's a voice speaking. Am I going crazy too?
No, Marco. The purely evil never go crazy. You're already mad with your own wickedness.
No, Shadow, you don't understand. I'm being robbed.
You lie. The treasure is not yours. It was Mrs. McGow who told you about her pirate grandfather's treasure trove, about the skipper's log. Insane though she may be, she has a better claim than you do.
There. You see? You see? The treasure is mine. All mine.
Give it to me or I'll shoot. Shadow or no shadow.
No, you don't.
You'll never get the gun away from me.
Now you see who wins. The treasure is mine. Goodbye, Mr. Markham.
Quick, Miss Lane. Guard the window.
Yes, Shadow.
No. No! The treasure is mine.
Now, Markham, drop that gun. That's better.
Shadow, I'll give you half of the treasure. Let's get it away from her.
Have you ever given that treasure chest a good look, Markham?
What do you mean?
Mrs. McGow, put that chest on the desk.
No.
Do as I say. Now notice the yellow lock on the factory finish. No sea captain who lived 100 years ago left that chest, Markham, because there were no such chests in existence then.
You're lying. You're trying to bluff me.
Open the chest and see. A priceless treasure, Markham. A treasure of lead weights, useless and worthless. But the widow McGow did tell you the truth. There is a treasure, and the direction to it are in the skipper's log, a real seaman's log, a little diary of the ship's voyage, which Miss Lane slipped out of the false bottom of this chest before you took it away from her.
Then, Shadow, please, can't we make a deal?
I make no deals with crime. Your only booty from this night's grim adventure will be the sentence you receive in a court of law for aiding and abetting a mad woman, a murderess.
Oh dear, Lamont. Do you suppose the treasure really is where those men are digging?
Yeah, the ship's log said it was buried 3 paces to the left of the old linder tree over there.
Just think, if you hadn't told me, before I went up to the attic with Markham, that a false bottom in the chest was probably what Mrs. McGow meant by a hiding place within a hiding place, they wouldn't be here, digging up the treasure. And you know, it seems such a pity that Mrs. McGow and Markham are in prison awaiting trial, instead of being here, now that the big moment is at hand.
Mr. Cranston!
They're calling us!
Oh, come on.
We struck it, Mr. Cranston!
Lamont!
There it is.
Open it! Open it! There! Is Is it full of gold?
Well, not exactly, Margot.
You mean there's no money?
Oh yes, it's full of money. Script dollars issued by the pirate government of the buccaneer city of Gunsport in Tobago, back in the 18th century.
Yes. How much of it?
Millions of dollars worth.
Great! We can buy anything we want, can't we?
With this? Margot, we couldn't even buy a stick of bubblegum.
Huh? What do you mean?
This was already worthless before Dewey steamed into Manila Bay.
Oh, dear. All this trouble for nothing.
Now, Margot, keep your bolero on. Here, have a cigarette.
Thanks. We might as well have stayed at home.
Oh, I don't think so. Light?
Yes. Hey, what are you lighting it with?
A $5,000 blank note.
You see? All the danger we went through, and what good did it do us?
Oh, I don't know, Margot. I always rather like the idea of having money to burn.
The Shadow program is based on a story copyrighted by Street and Smith Publications. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Next time, same channel, The Shadow shall demonstrate that
The wit of crime bears its bitter fruit, for crime does not pay. The shadow knows.